which puts the Jets up at 10. And they're not picking defense no matter what.
No, they're not. They're not picking defense. They already got defense figured out. To me, the best case scenario for the New York Jets is in the first round, I would say at number 10. Whichever offensive tackle that's on the board can start and play for them in year one. Like that is it, right? I mean, like Dwayne Brown's getting older. Mekhi Becton's not reliable. Like, sure, you could kick Elijah Vera Tucker to one of those tackle spots, but from what they've done over the last couple of years, it feels like they would like to keep him as an interior. Now, I know I feel like Connor Rogers over on the Stock Exchange podcast that we do together, I feel like he has told me that they're pretty comfortable with him playing offensive tackle now, like moving forward. So maybe that's not the plan anymore. But that was the original plan, was to keep him inside. But even if you kick Tucker out to one of those offensive tackle spots, you probably have to fill another one with a starter. So best case scenario is Joe Alt. No question about it. Joe Alt makes it to 10, then you're in business. I think you're, like you said, if Joe Alt makes it to number 10, the only reason why the little ticker thing that says the pick is in isn't going to get past 14 minutes and 59 seconds is simply because they have too much commercial space that they have to run. And they're like, no, we got to keep this thing going. Because he would be the immediate millisecond put that thing in pick for the New York Jets at 10. But outside of him, you got a lot of right tackle options, which kind of makes it tricky because I like Talize Fuaga. I seem to be higher on JC Latham than other people are. I think both of those guys could get drafted and start very, very soon in their NFL careers. But they've been guys that have played their whole careers at right tackle, or at least on the right side of the line of scrimmage. That's also where Vera Tucker has filled in. So if you're comfortable putting him at tackle, feels like that would be the place where you want to keep him. So can one of those other guys then switch to left? That's a bit of a projection. Or are you okay with Olu Fashanu at this point? Olu Fashanu's played left tackle. So that's kind of where I am with the debate. Joe Alt is the best case scenario. But outside of him, it's just whichever offensive lineman you think can start for you immediately in year one. I would tell you that the next guy on my board would be Talize Fuaga. But again, then you get into a debate of who plays right tackle, who plays left tackle. And so it's a little bit more tricky for the Jets, but they just got to find a tackle.
100% with you on the tackle. I think the tricky part also for the Jets is they feel so desperate right now. Who knows how much longer Aaron Rodgers is there? Even if it's 2 years, of all the positions that take time to develop, tackle's one of the, sometimes takes the most time. It's hard for a tackle to come in and play well. Obviously, it happens. We saw Tristan Wirfs do that with Tampa Bay. We've seen players do it, but we've also seen Andrew Thomas look horrendous for his first season and then become one of the best tackles in the NFL in year 2. Sometimes it takes time.
Right.
Last year's rookie first-round tackles, Paris Johnson had a 60 grade. Darnell Wright, 64. Anton Harrison, 54. Broderick Jones, 57. I mean, those aren't great. That's not great production. That includes pass blocking, run blocking, whatever. It's still probably an upgrade. It's an upgrade over what the Jets had this year, which is a revolving door of terrible. But just saying, it's very difficult for a rookie tackle to come in and play well. So you're not. One of my draft axioms here, Trevor. You're not drafting for 1 year, but when you're the Jets,
you kind of are.
Yeah, it's like desperate times, right? You've put all your eggs into the Aaron Rodgers basket. That's why I do kind of wonder how much they try to like stitch it together in free agency, and maybe, but like a receiver could come in and make a big impact. Do they get sharp in free agency and actually pick up 2 or 3 starters? Average. They don't have to be great up front. They just have to not be as bad as they were last year. And then maybe they get one of those top receivers, and now you're cooking, right? A receiver to go with Garrett Wilson, and you're putting it all together there for Rodgers. So I'm with you on the tackle. Like, that is the way to go. But I'm also in like temper expectations mode, because picking a tackle at 10 doesn't solve your offensive line problems. It's just a step in the right direction, and it might take a while to get there.
And they need wide receiver too. So people would also be like, well, if one of the top 3 guys gets here, then you just pick one of them. Maybe that's the best case scenario. And I would see that argument, but are you okay with the offensive line being the way that it is going into the season? Then I don't think that they would do that trade-off. So
My advice to every team every year is look at the PFF free agent board, and it's not that the board is wrong, but I think when you get to like 50 to 100 on the free agent board, sometimes even lower, there are starting caliber offensive linemen in there. And if I'm the
mhm.
Jets, I'm loading up on those players, 8 million here, 6 million there, and trying to get those players so I'm not desperate. I mean, the Bucks got away with it a couple of years ago. They needed a tackle. They were trying to trade up like crazy, and they got Tristan Wirfs, and he stepped in and he was awesome right away. That is uncommon. And so that's where the Jets are right now. You can't rely on my evaluation is going to be great. My guy's going to be there. So I think they should draft a tackle most likely, but I would do everything I could to like mitigate that need as much as possible leading up to the draft. And then
Yep.
it almost gives you the opportunity if a Dunze's there or something. It's
Right,
like, oh,
right. Well,
but
that's
Dunze and
that,
Garrett Wilson could be awesome.
and that's the healthy way to do it, right? You want to be able to navigate free agency in a way where it frees you up to pick the best player within the realm of team needs that you have, not pigeonhole your biggest need to like, oh, okay, now we'll just address this in the first round, especially when you're picking at number 10. It gets more difficult the further down you go.